Hello lovely ones. I thought I'd take you on another wander down our road just so you can see what it looks like through the seasons. It's always nice to go for a walk, and yesterday was very warm, so I wasn't going to come out for too much of a walk because it just wasn't fair on the dog. But today is much cooler and it's just really nice. The hawthorn, or Mayflower, which is quite aptly named, seeing as this is the 1st of May, has just recently come into bloom and it's looking very, very bonny. If we go down here, it's nothing much to look at the moment. But this plant here is the meadowsweet starting to come up, and this always makes me very happy to see. It's one of my favourite edible forageables. The Alexanders have grown up a lot since the last time I showed you, and they are blossoming like mad. These are a really cool plant. They were brought over to the UK by the Romans and then brought over to Ireland by people who used them sort of for ornamental purposes. And because we're a coastal area, these grow really, really well. But I'm going to come and pick some of these in the next day or two for a wee project I have coming up. So in the ditch here we have got the Himalayan balsam, which is an invasive species, but it grows really, really well here. And the way that it spreads is it has this pink flower and then it goes to a seed pod which pops and explodes the seeds everywhere, which is why it's so successful at spreading. Council haven't quite figured this out. They treat it like Japanese knotweed and they're treating it at the wrong time. But the flowers from this are really, really beautiful, and it is an edible as well. I need to read up on how to use it, but I know that you can use it. Whilst they aren't edible, it's always lovely to see the bluebells out at this time of year. They're just so beautiful. On this banking here there is a really, really good crop of fireweed, or rosebay willow herb. Now it's not in flower at the moment, but it has like these pokers of purpley pink flowers that are absolutely stunning to look at. And you can actually use the flowers and the leaves and dry them to make a tea known as Ivan chai, and it's meant to be very, very good for you. So it's another thing that I might have a whirl at making this year. I've got so many projects on the go and things that I want to try, and I'd really like to take you guys on this journey with me so that you can learn how to make these things too. Here we have the gorse or windbush, and it is so beautiful and vibrantly yellow. It has the most amazing sort of coconut scent to it, with a hint of vanilla through it. Now you can infuse the flowers into syrups or actually into alcohol, which is another project I have and that I want to do. You have to be quite careful when you're picking gorse flowers. I don't know if you can see, but the plant is actually armour plated, so you have to be very careful. Let's see if we can find this bee. Bees getting in and getting all that pollen and nectar. I'm not sure if the camera is able to pick that up. You can see all the pollen gathered on its legs. It's going to take that back to the hive. Well, it would if it was a honeybee, it would take it back to the hive, but it'll take it back to its nest and that will be turned into food. But this is just amazing. It smells like pina coladas to me. But maybe that's just me. And gorse flowers, you know, it flowers throughout the year. It's quite prolific, so it's a good one to be able to pick. But you must make sure that it is a warm day for the aromas to be released. If you do it on a really cold day, you won't get the same results. It's actually a member of the pea family, so if you don't pick it on a warm day, it will just end up tasting of peas, which isn't bad in itself, but when you're going for sort of a pina colada vibe, that's not what you want. So this time of year the daisies are out in abundance, and they are actually related to the arnica plant. So you can pick these and dry them, or not. You can do a hot infusion with the fresh ones and into a carrier oil, and then you can make them into a salve for bumps and bruises to help heal them quicker. But don't they look bonny? Well, that's us back home. You'll have to excuse the noise from the farm. There's something going on in the shed there. I thought I would give you a wee tour of the garden and show you what's going on, but before I do that, I thought you might want a wee update on the chicks. So here they are, the little darlings. They are getting their feathers in and they're getting big now. We still haven't been able to sex them, definitely, so we're not sure what percentage is roosters and what percentage is hens, but they are so lovely and cute, and it's been really lovely to have them here, and the kids absolutely adore them. It's a really great thing to do if you've got kids. They always enjoy seeing the little animals grow up. You have to excuse me, I'm getting over a cold and my nose has started streaming. So along this bed, the pine berries here, they are in full flower. Now pine berries they look like a white strawberry and they taste like pineapple. It's really, really bizarre, but they are delicious. Over here we have got all the strawberries. All the strawberries. Now this particular box up the back here has been attacked with aphids. I did spray that with a mixture of vinegar and water. I thought I'd diluted it down enough, but obviously it was still a bit strong, so some of the leaves have gone brown, but there's plenty of flowers that are coming to fruit, so we just have to wait for these to ripen. Some of them are throwing out runners already, so we're going to have to move these outside to make space, because the tomato plants are ready to put in and we desperately need to get them in the ground. Planted far too many cucumber seeds, but you know, we never learn. We always plant far too many cucumber seeds. We only need one cucumber plant. Here we've got Cora's sunflowers. That's her pride and joy, so we're looking after them because we don't want tears. Down here are the chili plants, so they are coming on really well, and they will get planted sort of in between or in front of the tomatoes once they go in. And there is also some yellow climbing beans here. Over in this direction, my dwarf French beans are not doing that great. I only got one come up out of, goodness, 8. Well, 2 came up, but one of them stunted. And so, you know, I put 8 of them in, so that's a bit disappointing. The red curry plants, nothing. And the parsley as well. What is happening this year? I'm having no luck with parsley. The red spring onions really haven't come to much at all. I did plant some of the calendula out the other day. I need to get more of it in the ground. I just need to weed those areas where I'm going to put it. As usual, the New Zealand spinach is doing what it does best, which is take over. The carrots are coming on great guns. So we have the 2 outside rows of carrots are orange carrots, and then the middle row is purple carrots. Because who doesn't love a purple carrot? They're delicious. The salad, this row here, has already been cut back once. We actually had it for dinner last night, and it's growing back, so it's a great cut and come again crop. You don't have to plant it in the ground, you know, you can have it in like a window box. Really, really handy to have, and it's so much nicer than the stuff that you get out of the packets. Next to the salad we have the beetroot, and they're coming along quite nicely. They'll probably need to be thinned out shortly, but you can use the leaves just like salad leaves, so they're really, really nice. Actually goes very well in an egg mayonnaise sandwich, I have to say. These spring onions are coming along great guns. Really, really pleased with them. I need to get another batch going, because I use quite a lot, and you can chop them up and freeze them so that they're there ready to use whenever you need them. And then a little bit of parsley and a rogue broad bean. The coriander has gone into the ground just here, and some dill behind it, so that's doing really well. Up here we have got the tumbling tomato, and that's actually already started to flower, which is great because that means first tomatoes are on their way, hopefully. Then up here there's just a couple more jalapenos and the lemon basil. So there's plenty more to get planted up, seeds to sow, but this is just how it's going in here. And we've got Thomas's sunflowers down here. They're not going as well as Cora's, but that's okay. And some rosemary plants, my spider plant that I divided up, and some apple mint that I bought, or mint apple that I bought a couple of weeks ago now and repotted. Doesn't feel like the apple mint that I have outside, so we will see what it's like. I have been using away at the rainbow chard, but it has bolted, so every day I've been pulling one or two out and giving it to the hens because they absolutely adore it, so it's not going to waste at all. I will need to get more of this sown so that I can use it, because it is just really versatile, it's so easy to grow, and it's just delicious. So out here behind the polytunnel we've got the lemon verbena that I transplanted from inside. That is coming on really, really well. And then the asparagus that we've decided to put in here too. Not quite sure what's going on with that, whether it should be lying down or not. It could be that it just went a bit leggy because it was the heat of the polytunnel. But I need to read up about that and see how that's meant to go. We've got more chard out here, so I can eat away at that and then give it to the hens. This purple kale has well and truly bolted, but I'm leaving it here, the flowers for the bees, and actually it's quite beautiful when it goes to flower. We've got some lemon thyme and oregano back here, and some sage, some hidden strawberry plants, and a Cavolo Nero. Now I wanted to chat to you about something. Please excuse the noise, the tractor in the farmyard. It's a bit wild here, and the brambles always take over, but what you can do if you enjoy herbal teas, I don't know if you can see, but this bramble tip here, you can pinch that off and either use it fresh or dry it, and it is a wonderful addition to herbal teas. So I'm going to be coming out and nipping off little fresh shoots every couple of days and making sure that they get dried. I have the heat from the polytunnel, which is really, really handy for drying things. And then down here you can see the nettles. Now I haven't got to these particular ones, but I have been going along and taking the fresh nettle tops off and drying them for herbal tea blends. It's just really, really good for boosting your immune and for loads of different things. If you take like histamine reactions, it contains quercetin, which is like a natural antihistamine. So it is, although a lot of people really hate nettles, I always advise people to keep a little patch of nettles, just because they are such a good, strong medicinal plant. As you can see, the chickens here have been destroying the rainbow chard that I gave them. And then I finally have something in this bed, finally. It's been a long time coming. So all the broad beans have been planted out in this bed, and I don't know if you can see very well, but I have planted the dill in between, and dill is a really good companion plant for, it will attract the pests to itself and away from the plant, and also it is incredibly delicious. So I'm hoping that slugs don't get it, because we want a really good crop of dill this year. I have I've interplanted at the front with calendula. Now some of these calendula are the ones that I've grown from seed, and other ones are self-seeded, like this one, and I've got more self-seeded ones down here. And you guys know that I absolutely adore calendula. It's just such a beneficial plant, and the flowers just make me smile every time I see them. Now there has been some slug action on the self-seeders, but that's okay. It's what happens, but they're strong enough that they're going to survive. Down here I have put a dahlia plant in and a white peony. Oh, hello. We have an escaped chicken. How did that happen? I will deal with her in a moment. That is strange. Hey, Chucky. You're alright. Last night when it cooled down, I decided to weed out this bed here. Not that you can see it behind the bags of logs. But it was full of cleavers and dock, and it just wasn't great. So I've cleared it, and you can see my lemon balm plants are doing really, really well. They've come back beautifully. I've put some calendula in here along with some dahlias because I like flowers. There's a couple of peony plants in here too, and some self-seeded borage. I hadn't sown any borage plants or seeds this year, but I will be transplanting these shortly into different areas. Again, another really good medicinal plant. Angus, get out of it. You're not to come in here. No, away. Go on, away. Borage is a really good medicinal plant, and it's also really beautiful. And here is the great big rosemary bush. It is in full bloom, and it's stunning. Now, some of those rosemary plants in the polytunnel I'm going to plant out here too, just because you can never have enough rosemary. So I absolutely love having granola for my breakfast in the summertime. I'm not very good at eating breakfast. I tend to wait until the kids have gone to school, just because it's a lot less stressful. You know, I do try to eat breakfast most mornings, but it doesn't always happen. But I know that if I have this in the house, then I will eat my breakfast. I'm more likely to eat it. So I'm gonna make up this batch so that I know that I'm eating something that is delicious and for the most part good for me. I'm going in with 2 tablespoons of honey. Now this is honey from our hives from last year, and it has kind of set a little bit, but that's fine because we'll mix it in. This is what honey tends to do naturally anyway, is it does crystallize a little bit. So if you see it in the shops and it is crystallized, there's nothing wrong with it. it's just doing what honey does. I'm going to go in with 2 tablespoons of avocado oil. Now you could use melted coconut oil if you want to. I just can't be bothered melting it. I'm having one of those days today where I'm really just not feeling it. I've been pretty sick for the last couple of weeks. I'm just starting to feel somewhat human. So doing little things like this for myself helps me to feel better. I'm going to go in with a dash of homemade vanilla, maybe a little bit more than a dash. Now on the recipe that I have on the website it says for vanilla bean paste. That's just what I was using at the time when I published the recipe, but you know, I'm using this homemade vanilla extract. You know, so you can use that too if you want to. Let me see if I can find the right measuring cup here. Making plenty of noise today. We want 1/2 cup of maple syrup. Now I would strongly advise you, if at all possible, to get the big 1 litre jugs of maple syrup. It is much more cost effective. Now I can't get them here in Ireland in the shop. I do have to order online. I get mine through Amazon, and I tend to bulk buy it along with another family, and we split what comes in the order. So I'll show you. So this is a Costco brand, but I buy it off of Amazon because we don't have Costco here in Ireland. It's so much more cost effective than buying those little jugs in the supermarket. And I'm going to put some cinnamon in too, because cinnamon's good for digestion and it also tastes really, really nice. So we're going to give this all a good mix up. That honey's going to make it a bit more awkward, but it'll be fine. And the purpose of this is to coat the granola mixture so it goes nice and crunchy, and it also flavours it. Oh, come on honey, break up for me. This is raw honey that I'm using. The stuff that you get in the supermarket, unless it's labelled raw, excuse me, it has been pasteurised, heat treated, so you will not get any of the health benefits from the pasteurised stuff. There, I'm going to call that good. Put the lid on this honey, and then I've got roughly 100 grams of chopped nuts. I've got a mixture of pecans and almonds and walnuts here. That's just what I had in the cupboard. I haven't gone out and bought anything special. I like to keep a selection of different nuts in the cupboard, just because it's always handy to have them. I'm going to go in with roughly 300 grams. I'm just going to eyeball this. I could have more, I could have less, who knows. And some pumpkin seeds. We're going to go with roughly 100 grams of them too. It's all good stuff that's going into here, and we just want to coat everything with this mixture, and it will start to form clumps, and that's what we want. Let me tell you, it smells delicious already. I wish you could smell what it smells like. And I know you can buy granola in the supermarket, I know you can, but it just, you don't, even the ones that are touted as healthy, still have stuff in there that's not that great for us. And when you make it at home, at least you know everything that's going into it. And I think that's really important. I'm not going to stand here and tell you, oh yeah, everything has to be clean, because yeah, I love junk food too. But it's all about balance, and I am trying to get a lot more of a balance in my life at the moment, food-wise, and eat a lot better. Now that the polytunnel is starting to come into production, that's a lot easier, for me anyway, because I have things on hand, so I can go out and pick things and sort of plan my meals around what's ready in the polytunnel. And I know not everybody has that option or desire to do that, but for us personally as a family, that's really important to us, to be able to go out and grow our own food and, you know, have those interesting varieties of things and different flavours. Okay, I have got a baking tray here that I have lined with parchment. You don't have to do that, but it just makes it a darn sight easier for tidying up, because this has got the maple syrup and the honey in it. It's a bit sticky. Also makes it easier to turn it over. Now this tray should be big enough that I can just put all this on here. If you have a smaller oven or smaller trays, then, you know, just use 2 trays. It will cook a lot quicker if you spread it out thinly, but this is going to get turned over a couple of times anyway, so I think this tray is going to be fine. My brain is trying to escape through my nose again, so please excuse all the sniffing sounds. Rightio, let's spread this out a bit. Make sure that everything is well combined. Now I have preheated my oven. It is preheated at 130 degrees. My oven is a fan oven, so if you have a conventional oven, you would heat it to 150 degrees Celsius. I'm not quite sure what that is in Fahrenheit, but it's a low oven anyway. And this is going to go in, and I'm going to leave it for 15 minutes and then bring it out and turn it over. Okie dokie, this has had 15 minutes and I've just brought it out. So we're going to give it a wee bit of a stir to break it up. But actually, before I do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sprinkle over some coconut flakes. Now the reason that we didn't put this in sooner was that it will burn. So we just leave it till the last sort of 10-15 minutes so that it doesn't get absolutely burnt to a crisp, because burnt coconut's not pleasant. Just stir this about and give it a good mix. Now everybody's oven is different, so these timings are just a guide, and remember that things will crunch up a bit as it cools. But you do want it a bit crunchy when it comes out of the oven. So I'm going to pop this in for another 10 minutes and see what it's like. If it needs it, I'll give it an extra 5. So that is the granola, had an extra 15 minutes there, and it is ready to leave to cool down. So once this has cooled down, I'm going to jar it up. Now that the granola has cooled down, it's time to pop it into the jar. This is where it's also helpful to have used the parchment paper, because it makes it easier to try and transfer. Now this is a gallon jar, so although it's only about half full, there is a decent amount in there. And you could leave it just as it is, but I quite like to add some freeze-dried fruit to it. So I'm going to put some freeze-dried strawberry pieces in, because that's what we like. So you're trying to keep the kids away from this granola while it was cooling it down. Telling you, it's a full-time job. Now, one day I would love to have my own freeze dryer to do this with our own fruit, but they are so expensive. It's just not within the budget at the moment. But one of these days, a freeze dryer will be mine, because freeze-dried fruit is just something else. And to buy freeze-dried fruit is very expensive, and rightly so, because they're expensive to run, and you know, you need a lot of stuff in there. And by weight, the freeze-dried stuff, you know, if that was not frozen, there would be a lot there. So I'm going to pop the lid on and give it a shake. And there we have a ready-made granola. And I'm going to have this for my breakfast tomorrow. I want to thank you for joining me this week. If you've enjoyed this video, then please do feel free to share it with those who you would know would enjoy it as well. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Until next time, my lovelies, take care.